I can't recall when I noticed that my flow started slowing down, but I know it was sometime in my late 50s. It was only when my stream turned into a drizzle and then into a dribble, that's when I began to start getting bored of standing in front of the porcelain steering wheel all day, draining the snake, staring at the wall. So I had a decision to make. Do I put in a bar fridge and a TV, or do I go to the P-Knuckle clinic? So I slept on it, woke up the next day, called the clinic, and made an appointment with Dr. Goldfinger. Turns out I had a urinary infection. I was also informed that I had a large prostate, but I already knew that. The doctor was concerned about my dribbling and set up an appointment for me to see a specialist, a Dr. I.P. Freely. I would have to wait 6 months for that appointment. I asked the doc what would the specialist be doing. He told me that he would perform a simple cystoscopy. Now, a cystoscopy is where they put one foot on your sack, grab the old milk hose by the neck, and jam a camera down it. All right, maybe I'm over exaggerating, but I don't want to go through that again. You see, in my youth, I did a lot of dirt biking, and on one particular occasion, I had an accident where the old turkey neck and dumplings got impaled. And so, maybe I still suffer a little PTSD from that hospital chamber of horrors. But being all macho and all, I didn't talk about my apprehension to the doc. I said I would take the appointment. I wasn't even out the door, and I was already started to thinking about how do I back out of this, like coming up with excuses in your mind, like the dog ate my homework. Well, of course, that won't work in this situation. But anyways, you know what I mean. As the days grew closer, I said enough of that. I went into the piddle-poo room, looked myself in the mirror, and said, "You stupid, weak old man. You call yourself a codger. This is a rite of passage. Welcome to the Brotherhood of the Burning People. Now pull up those freaking depends and drag your decrepit old carcass out to the car and go." After the initial interrogation process of checking into the hospital, they slipped on the one cuff ID and made me walk the last mile. They pushed me in a little room, tossed a gown at me, and told me to strip down and put it on. After that, I walked into the exam room. The chair is high off the floor, so it's like getting up into a horse, saddling into a saddle, leaning back, lifting up and spreading your legs, and putting your feet in stirrups. And there you are, splayed out, exposing your noodle and meatballs to a half a dozen spectators. Imagine, some people do this for a living, except there's music and people tossing money. Anyone looking at this old man's shriveled up, unmanicured junk, the only thing they're going to be tossing is their lunch. So yeah, don't be embarrassed in this situation. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. They're easy for you to say, Norm. Look, I don't know what to tell you. This is one of those things where some men would prefer to die than expose themselves. Kind of like some people prefer death over public speaking. But there's a bigger chance you'll be ringing the doorbell at the pearly gates if you don't get the boys checked out. You know what I mean there, Bern? So anyway, the doctor walks into the room and starts talking to me. Meanwhile, his assistant fondles old One Eye and starts massaging him with some numbing cream. Talking was his way of distracting me from thinking about the upcoming torture that Jumbo was going to be facing. He's a little camera shy, you know what I mean? When the assistant finishes the rub and tug, the doc steps in and pushes up the camera. And it feels like this sudden urge that you've got to go. And we're not talking about a happy ending here. We're talking about a full-blown golden geyser. I mean, really, I got to go. Get the hell out of my way. Relax, he says. Yeah, there's karma for you. How many times have you said that to the girls? So yeah, I'm thinking, relax. How the hell can you relax from this hospital exam from hell? All right, he's in. Offers me a view of the monitor. I decline, saying, I've already seen it on YouTube. The camera in-out action was about as fast as the Guinness record of Al Bundy making love to his wife Peg. After the procedure finished, I asked the doc a few questions about the prostate exams. So listen up. Men of European descent should start having their prostate exam in their mid-50s. If you are of African descent, then your 40s. And don't worry, they only do the camera thingy if you're dribbling. Once you are in your 70s, you really don't need to get checked, which means I'll probably be visiting the Rump Ranger a couple more times in the next couple of years. However, If you have a family history of prostate issues and you're still healthy, then you should keep getting checked even into your 80s. The entire event from the time I walked in and out of the hospital took about 45 minutes. I stopped off at the pharmacy, picked up my prescription of Flomax. Yes, that's what they actually call it. And then I grabbed my prescribed antibiotic. I went home, did some work around the house. A couple hours later, I started to get the shakes. So I took the antibiotic, ended up sleeping the rest of the day, all night, and half of the next. A couple of weeks on Flomax, I had my stream back. Flomax really works, and I can't wait for winter to piss writing my name in the snow. Shoot. I forgot I'm heading to the Philippines for the winter. I wonder if you can do that in the sand. Let me know in the comments below. Now, if you or someone you know is struggling financially and can't afford the cost of medication, then download my senior savings kit from the description below. It's full of savings from groceries, services, and travel. Thanks for hanging out with me today. My name is Norm. This is God's Corner. Subscribe to the channel. See you Tuesday.